Hello, my name is Francois Doucette, and I'm a piano technician in the Reno, Nevada area. Today I'm doing a demonstration on this 1980s Baldwin semi-concert grand piano that's been used as a teaching piano for about 30 years. The tone of the instrument is extremely harsh and non-musical. For example, very twangy, strident sound, way too loud. I know it's a big piano, but even in a room like this, we're going to change the tone of this piano dramatically. And we're going to do that by reshaping the hammers that have gotten very, very worn and flat, creating a square wave. If you were to look at it on an oscilloscope, the actual tone would be not a high point, but a very square wave, setting up the wrong type of overtone series in the string. Very twangy, very metallic. We're going to get rid of that. Now what I'm doing right now is pressing the unicorner pedal to just soften it up to give you kind of an example of what we're going for. You see how that came down about 40%. We're going to go for even more than that. So in a few minutes I'm going to actually pull this action out, turn it around, and show you how I'm going to start working on these hammers. And you'll be able to see the hammers sitting here. And you'll see the very flat surface of the hammer, which has taken 30 years to get to this point. And you'll see the deep grooves in the hammers before I start working on it. So we'll come back in just a second with that view. Okay, what I've done is I've removed the action from the piano, and now the keys are inside. It makes a nice work surface. And these are the hammers I was telling you about. And I think you can see, if I lift a few of these, how flat they've gotten on the edges. And with the light shining here, you can probably see the deep grooves from hitting the strings. They're very wide. They're over a ½ inch wide. They're probably 5/8 of an inch wide. And now that's what's producing, aside from being flattened and hardened, is producing a metallic sound, setting up that square wave. What I'm going to do with reshaping these, I'm going to do some sanding all the way across evenly to bring this hammer to a diamond point. And I'll show you that when I do a few of these in a few minutes. But as you can see back here, the surface is very flat, and once again, it's even more. It has the hammer is hitting so much of the string, it cannot produce a musical sound. So I think that's just kind of self-explanatory there now that I have it here. Another thing that I do, I have this brace here to keep all the hammers nice and level when I work on this particular action. I'll be shaping this way. This is a sandpaper paddle. I'll be shaping at a 45-degree angle this way. And to go the other way, I have another little trick here that I use. I take this 2x4. Preferably a nice flat piece of wood, and when I have to come up the other side, I hold on to it there and do the shaping like this. So that's it for this segment, and we'll just come back with a little more example of how I'm reshaping these hammers top to bottom. I have, for the last hour and a half, been reshaping these hammers, and hopefully you can see now that they're more into a diamond-shaped point. I'll raise a couple here. You can see that they're looking like this compared to flattened out like they were before. I've reshaped them. I've voiced them down with needles and softened up the shoulders. What I'm trying to do is when this hammer now hits the string, I want it to compress like a tennis ball and spring back. That's what sets the string in motion. This very tiny strike point now is going to set up the proper dynamic range in that string. It'll give the right overtone series that I'm going to demonstrate in a little bit. I have a little bit more work to do. This whole procedure takes 3 to 4 hours. And also part of this procedure, not only have the hammers hardened over 30 years, but the regulation of the action has relaxed and caused itself to be anything but precise when you're trying to do the trills and the pianissimo effect when you're performing. So that's going to be done after this, and that's about all I have to show for now. As you can see, the hammers have a different strike point. You no longer can see those deep, deep grooves and that flat surface. Okay, I have completing reshaping the hammers. I have put the action back in the piano. I still have to do the regulating, but I just wanted to show you the dramatic change in tone from the service that I just did. There's a warmth now, there's a musical quality. I can get it by playing softly. There's no more of that metallic sound. And now the dynamic range has increased because I can play loud. Musical now, it's no longer harsh. I have a little of evening out to do, where if the notes are still a little bit bright, then I pull the action out, and then the individual hammer that I've marked with the chalk, I will lift up and I will go ahead and voice it down just a little bit and just get everything nice and even where I want it. So I think you'll agree that's a pretty dramatic change. That's the way a bass string should sound. A bass note on a semi-concert grand. Should be rich, full, the fundamental should be right there, and it have that envelope that includes the entire dynamic range of the note. That's music. Okay, what I'm doing here is finishing up doing a part of the regulation called raising the hammer line. As you can see, these hammers here are nice and level. These are down below. This is how much in 30 years this hammer has worn, crushing this little roller here. Compressing, it has dropped down below the line where it should be. And by adjusting the capstan screws, I'm regulating that particular line. This is just part of the regulating that I have to do to make this piano feel and play a lot more comfortably. After this particular sequence here, leveling the line of the hammers, I'm going to adjust a little roller here. This is just how high the hammer comes before it hits the string. Obviously the strings are not here right now, but there's one final adjustment after this hammer line, and it's called how far this hammer goes up before it drops, just a little bit like this. See? It comes up and it drops and then comes back up. Goes up near the string, drops, comes back up. That's called aftertouch. Very, very important. Pianists have heard of it. Piano teachers have heard it, technicians hear about it all the time. This service is complete, and it went very well. It took about 4 to 4.5 hours total. The hammers have been reshaped and voiced. The regulation has been done, and a few other odds and ends that need to be tended to. And the tone of the piano of a piano. Sound like. The whole goal of this is to make whoever plays it be inspired, have the children, when they're playing their pieces, to make them feel and be inspired that they're actually making music. And that was the overall goal of this whole project. And I think I've pretty well succeeded. So thank you for your time, and I hope this was informative and educational to you. Thank you so much.